So yeah, when you're done machine gunning, you hit enemies and you get a bunch of photon points back. I'm not going to call them PP.
What did you say?
Greetings and welcome back to Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. So, as you can see, my man's got a pair of scissors on his back. I mean, that's just what the Kukurosiette looked like to me. Maybe the wing is because the wing. You can't see the I guess the left wing when I do it like this. So yeah, it really do be looking like a pair of scissors. But yeah. So today we're gonna go over the Bouncer photon art, specifically Soaring Blades. I didn't do Talus mechanics in the Force Guide, not because I didn't like the Talus, but because I have never tried it. This time we're focusing on Soaring Blades and ignoring jet boots. Not because they're not fun to use or whatever, but because I'm not into foot fetish. I don't have a foot fetish. So, no jet boots for me, thank you. So, let's see. First things first, before I do anything else, we need to go over the skills, because the skills are a big facet into how your character works. So, let's go into my class sheet for Bouncer. So, see here. And yeah, you'll see I have only the Soaring Blade PAs. And if you're wondering why I keep calling jet boots cringe, why I say people who use them have foot fetishes, it's because I'm not angry at the people who wear jet boots. And I'm not angry at the existence of jet boots. But I'm angry at Sega for putting jet boots in my class and for making jet boots the focus of my class. And if you think I'm being delusional about that, one, look how many skills there are for jet boots over here versus the Soaring Blade skills. Secondly, look at the changelog over the past few updates. So, out of these two weapons, jet boots are the only ones that have been getting buffs and changes. And even though everybody has said from the beginning, from the release of this class, that jet boots need that Soaring Blades, that Soaring Blades need to be changed, need to be better, Sega has not touched them. So they put them in because this weapon in because it was in PSO2, and they haven't touched it since. So yes, I have a personal vendetta against that company for trashing my weapon and making my class worse by comparison, simply by association with this. Even though I'm not angry at this for people who use this specifically. Anyway, jokes aside, half joking. Like I'm displeased at those things, but I'm not angry at anyone in particular. They're just part of the game, and I have to live with it. But, yeah, let's go over these, techniques. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? What am I doing? I haven't even gone over the skills properly yet. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's do this again. Skills. Bouncer. Yeah. So, you've got defeat, photon point gain. You receive photon points when a nearby enemy is downed. It's just useful because photon points are kind of a pain to maintain. You got the defeat amplifier, which is the most important part of this class. It increases the down factor applied to your enemies. This is why Bouncer is, as a class as a whole, is such a strong class, and why a lot of people use it as their subclass, including me, because some of my characters, like the Keiko as a force, uses Bouncer as a subclass. Then we have partial destroy advantage. A lot of boss monsters have breakable parts. This just increases damage to those parts. And then you have physical decline, which only applies if you're a main class. So don't get this if you're using it as a subclass. Hitting an enemy with your photon arts makes it easier to induce physical down. Gives you a reason to spam your photon blades, your photon arts. Excuse me. An initial PA hit. Well, it can increase the down factor up to 3. I'm not sure about that. And we're ignoring elemental decline because it applies to cringe and cringe only. Then you have decline amplifier, which unfortunately is also main class only. Down factor increased stages will be more easily for physical defense decline and elemental decline. Right, then you have all of these, which you don't need if you're going Soaring Blade, but I got them anyway just to spend the points. Because I had no reason not to. Even though I can't use them unless I like multi-weaponed into a rod onto my blades and started casting techniques. But it's no big deal. It's not bouncer. Okay. So then you have Fanatic Blade, which is absolutely important. This thing is such good DPS. It is on a cooldown, unfortunately, but when you can get it up, like you're just machine gunning photon blades at your enemies, and it's amazing. Then you have this. This was added with the Retem update. You press your weapon action button while you're using a PA, and it lets you parry. Unfortunately, this is only once per PA used, and you can't really spam PAs for that chance to parry because photon points or management is kind of a thing. But this is honestly, I haven't gotten. I'm sure there are people who swear by this, but I haven't really gotten loose about a lot of use. I haven't got good using it basically. So yeah, but I still have the skill. So we have these two, which are just like one gives you more photon point recovery when you land a normal attack on an enemy struck by a photon blade. Oh, huh. Okay. So yeah, when you're done machine gunning, you hit enemies and you get a bunch of photon points back. I'm not going to call them PP. No, photon points. And then there's this, which just increases the number of photon blades fired while Fanatic Blade is active. Bare bones basic stuff. Anyway, that's all the skills we're going to be going over.
Anytime, okay?
Let's go into the photon arts themselves. And I get the main reason, of course, is most of you who actually play this game already know. If I have any viewers who actually play this game, I don't know. But the main reason I'm doing this is because Soaring Blade's got a new photon art, because all the weapons got a new photon art recently. I should actually go to a combat zone. You know what? No, this is fine. I'm just showing them off. I'm not actually fighting it. So the first, and actually I should look up these names too, because I do not have these the names for these photon arts memorized. So we have Destructive Stork, Rampaging Harrier, which is the new Genesis version of Kestrel Rampage if you were a Soaring Blade fanatic like myself at base PSO2. You have Roaring Pheasant, and the new one, Raving Falcon. So, Destructive Stork is a mobbing tool. You press the button once, and you just get a couple of area of effect photon blade swings. Let's go up to these guys, because these guys are actually bad guys and not just tames. So yeah, you hit one, hit the other, simple and easy. Now, if you press the button again while you're doing it, so you press the button and then you press the button again, and you get this kind of vertical slash, double slash, I should say, which is still area of effect, but it's vertical, so it's less area in a way. And this is good for your low-flying, hovering enemies. I'm not going to go into which ones, but yeah. So then we have the Kestrel Rampaging Harrier. It's not exactly the same as it was in base PSO2, but it's very similar, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm fairly certain, not 100% because it's been a long time since I played base PSO2 with my main character, but pretty sure that area of effect storm of photon blades at the end, it was a part of Kestrel Rampage as well. So yeah, this is your bossing outlet. Obviously, you do a bunch of slashes, and then you just rain down blades. Now this has a action as well if you push the button and then push the button again. But honestly, I think the first way is better. Like I think the area of effect storm of blades is better than just a few like streams of photon blades extending outward. Like that doesn't look like that's going to be that effective, in my personal opinion. So next we have let me refresh my memory on these names again. I'm sorry. That was Rampaging Harrier. Now we have yes, Roaring Pheasant, of course. So, some kind of like diagonal between horizontal and vertical slashes with a big slash at the end. So, this is one of the PAs where I think the double click is important, because this is obviously like a close-in move, right? You moving while you're doing this, you can close into your enemy. However, if you reach your enemy, you can press the button again and Beyblade. That's what I've heard people refer to that as. But yeah, you just spin in place with extra speed and just deal a whole bunch of ticks of damage. So then there's the new kid in town, Raging Falcon. So we're gonna press the button once, and we just get some slashes in, followed by a double slash in the X pattern. Nice, but kind of mediocre compared to the other ones. It really doesn't have its own place. Sure, if you Z target during a PSC burst, then you're going to hit multiple enemies with this thing, and that's understandable because it does pierce. But let's say we push the button again. So here's the thing with this, right? It's another move. It's another ground coverer, right? You teleport to your enemy and double slash. So I've heard a lot of people talk bad about this because it doesn't have the range of roaring pheasant. Here's the thing, though. The speed, though, right? Roaring pheasant takes a while, you know? It does. But then you quickly double click this Raving Falcon, and it's a lot faster, is what I'm getting at. And I think that works to its advantage, right? Like, if your enemy is kind of nearby and you don't want to spend the photon points for Roaring Pheasant, you know, you have the double click Raving Falcon, and that's good. You know, that's it gets you there. It doesn't have the range. It also has verticality, which is important to bring out. Everything about Raving Falcon is verticality. It scales vertically, right? So if your enemy's in the air and you're on the ground, you're going to hit this, and the photons slashes, they're going to go up. And I don't really have a good way of showing that without actually going in the combat zone, but yeah, they go up. And the teleport goes up too. So that's a good thing against big bosses like Dark Falls. And your Didal, gigantic, standing on two legs bosses with a tank on their back that you can pop. I think Didal has sword or whatever. Yeah, it's good for them too. So now, unfortunately, that's basically all I have to talk about. I mean, I guess I can show off Fanatic Blade, but let's face it. If you've seen my other videos with Terashi, you've seen Fanatic Blade already. You've seen this already. You've seen me machine gun photon blades already, right? Of course you have. If you've watched some of my other photon PSO2 New Genesis videos, you've seen this because this was in PSO2 as well. Right? It's not new. It might work different from basically PSO2. I don't know, but hey, yeah. Unless you're like a new viewer, if you've never seen a New Genesis video from me before, you've seen that. You have. So it's not a big deal. So this is kind of a small guide because there's not a lot to talk about. The only thing else I could really talk about is weapons, your choice in weapons, and really, you only have three choices, right? Obviously, your Griaga is your starter, like that's the cheapest, most powerful thing you can buy. That's the most powerful thing you can buy in the market. Is that it's really cheap, and that's going to be like your foundation. And then you're either going to go Quintep or whatever it's called, the one that's supposed to be a side upgrade to the relic weapons, but it's actually an upgrade because its potency 4 makes it a lot stronger or something. I don't know. The one that costs a lot of photon scales. That one. Which if I actually go to my, if I go to like the personal shop or something, I'll find it. I I don't know. But, yeah. You can either go for full power all the time. Go with the Q 5-star Q Soaring Blade. Or you can go Cuckoo Roseate and have a weapon that's on par with your Griaga weapon, but will make you not only a lot more powerful, but a lot tougher. Once the Pyramid Labyrinth in-game content comes on the 20th. So, you know, and of course you have your, you know, stuff to build up to that if you're not at max level yet, which is fine. Which, I mean, you don't even if you're not like level 31, because Griaga and Cuckoo Roseate both you know, you need you to be level 31. So you don't need to be max level 2, you just need to be level 31. So, yeah. But yeah, the weapons are simple. Like, getting them maxed out isn't simple, but getting them is simple. Right? Especially, like, Cuckoo Roseate Soaring Blades, because they're very cheap on the market. The one I bought was, less than $1 million. I don't even remember exactly how much, but I'm going to go ahead and search that up, actually. Cuckoo Roseate Blades. Search. 90,000 on the market. Cuckoo Roseate Blades are super cheap right now. If you compare that to, like, the katanas and the rods, which are really hard to come by, they cost like millions, and you can't even get Cuckoo Roseate rods on the market, which is some bullcrap, but like nobody farms Mount Magnus for Cuckoo Roseate rods, which means I'm going to have to farm Mount Magnus for Cuckoo Roseate rods. But you know what? A lot of people, the reason people don't farm that is because people don't like Mount Magnus. I like Mount Magnus. I like Mount Magnus just fine. The one I have a problem with is Vanver Labs, because the drone nonsense just gets on my nerves. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that's all for the bouncer guide that I have. However, I do have a bonus for you guys, because Soaring Blade is not the only Bouncer is not the only class I play. It might as well be the class one. Might as well be Soaring Blades, because that's the only thing I do with it. But no, people enjoy jet boots. Excuse me. I'm fine with people enjoying jet boots. I just don't like the way Sega thinks they are the best thing on God's green earth, and thinks Soaring Blades shouldn't exist, but they keep them there anyway because they know people use them. Because they know it's better, but they don't like it, so they just leave it alone and give jet boots all the love. That's the only beef I have with jet boots. Like, I'll call them cringe, I'll call them foot fetish degeneracy. I don't really mean it. Like, I'm not saying it to hurt people's feelings. I'm saying it because I'm mad at Sega. So please understand that. Anyway, let me stop rambling and actually get about this bonus, but Bouncer isn't the only class that got new stuff. So let me go ahead and switch characters right quick. I'm back, and I have Keiko with me. And if you'll notice, in the center of the UI bar down there, there's something new. And I'm going to show you this something new. However, I am going to have to put a bit of work behind it, because A, this new thing is behind a meter, and B, it has a cooldown as well. So it's going to be a while before I can show off all three of these compound techniques. So we're going to take Bunny, and we're going to take her to Mount Magnus, because maybe, just maybe, I'll get a Cuckoo Roseate rod while I'm doing this, and we'll be able to, I'll not necessarily change Keiko's equipment right away, because I'm kind of low on my set after buying her bunny tail, but yeah, we'll work something out. Okay, we're in Mount Magnus now, so we don't need to worry about everything that's happened before now. You know, off camera, of course. No comment. Let's just keep going. Okay, so we're in Mount Magnus, but I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't find a room within Mount Magnus that has some people in it, because the room we're in, I take it back. The room we're in has 7 people out of 8, including, oh, never mind. Oh, that one now has 5, goodness. That was 3 people in 1. So now, yeah, we're just going to head up here, and we're just going to, fight a bit and charge our compound technique meter here. And I'm going to show you the 3 compound techniques one at a time, because that's just, you don't have to work around the mechanic for that. That's just what it do. So why don't we start with some good old-fashioned chain lightning going. Honestly, I kind of wish they changed the way the alignments mesh up. Like, lightning and wind makes sense, but like fire has kind of been partially, not entirely, but like partially my aesthetic for a long time. But like,
trial start.
Darkness is absolutely not my aesthetic at all. So let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and pop Meglion here. Yeah, it just creates a sword and creates burning everywhere. Not kind of unimpressive, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this mechanic charge real quick, cause why not? Go ahead and get it out of the way. You have a enhancement on you. I don't appreciate that. Oh, and hey, you're weak to fire, so yeah, you can take it. I mean, makes sense. This is Aleo. Fire and ice are like the primary weaknesses. And I do have to point out, this is the first time I've used Meglion, so that's why I'm kind of surprised how unimpressive it is. So this is Brancion. Very pretty. Oh, actually, yeah, if we had a far more enduring enemy, that would have been a lot more impressive to see, actually, because it had a lot more damage takes, I think. Very pretty, though. I do have to say that. But then again, the light is in the mix, so that's just going to be a fact. For my aesthetic, anyway. So the next one we have to show off here is Zandion. Now we have Zandion. And your character rushes towards them. It creates this kind of vertical pillar of lightning and wind. And then it kind of like explodes upward. Anyway, this thing's weak to ice. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off with ice. Then we'll head back to Central City and we'll close the video off from there. But yeah, because yeah, that is all we have for the 3. That's the 3 compound techniques. Now, do not make the mistake that I made when they were first unlocked. Don't spend an end reset skill ticket in order to buy this skill, the skill that unlocks the compound techniques. Because the skill that unlocks the compound techniques does not cost any skill points. So you don't need to change your entire setup just to get this skill. Like, you can just like click it on, and that's that. And you don't need to change anything. So fair warning on that. So anyway, if you got this point in the video, it means a lot to me. Hope you enjoy it, and hope to see you in the next one. Farewell.